Yeah, I could see meeting is now streaming live on
You want?
YouTube.
Yeah,
Hello,
I can
sir.
also see.
Started streaming, sir. 2 minutes. It's came. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
I could see
Sir,
meeting is
one
now
second, sir.
streaming live on
You
YouTube.
want? Yeah,
Hello,
I
sir.
can also see.
Started streaming. 2 minutes. It's came. Yes, sir. Shaman, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
YouTube live it came. I'll share you the link, sir.
Yes, sir. YouTube live, same channel, ma'am.
No. I'll give you, sir.
Give ma'am.
YouTube live it came. I'll share you the link, sir.
Yes, sir. YouTube live, same channel, ma'am.
I'll give you, sir.
Give ma'am.
Kindly check and then we'll start, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm able to see your screen only. Can you share some screen? This one, ma'am, PPT, anything?
Madam, Sadaf madam, can you share your presentation here?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. You have disabled my screen sharing. Can you make me host so that I can share my screen?
Yeah, sure.
Ma'am, I have make you as a co-host. You can start, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
You
Thank
can
you.
try to share, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, it's coming.
In YouTube also it's coming, Nama.
YouTube, I didn't check, ma'am.
YouTube, yet to come, ma'am. Wait, ma'am. Coming, ma'am. Coming.
Yes, sir. Everything is okay. No, now we can share.
Yeah. We can announce in the group, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Please share the link and
I'll share the link now.
Okay, ma'am. Announce in the group. We will mute ourselves. Everyone will mute ourselves, ma'am.
First we have to mute everybody, sir, except
Yeah.
ma'am. Sadaf ma'am, we have to mute. When you also mute, then you
I
can
will.
start, ma'am.
Yes. When you are telling me to start, that time I will unmute and start.
Ranjani ma? Hello, Ranjani.
Yes, ma'am.
You can start, ma.
Okay. I'm audible, right? Revati ma'am, I'm audible, right?
Yes, you're audible.
Yes, ma. You can start. Everybody joined.
Yeah,
Started joining.
A pleasant morning and a warm welcome to one and all present here. I am Ranjini, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Dayananda Sagar University, Bangalore. First of all, thank you all for joining us for the 5 days online international faculty development program on research perspectives in futuristic computing technologies organized by Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Dayananda Sagar University. On behalf of the management, I welcome Dr. K. N. B. Murthy, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Puttamadappa, Registrar, Dr. A. Srinivas, Dean School of Engineering, Dr. M. K. Banga, Dean Research DSU, and Dr. Sanjay Chitnis, Chairman, Department of Computer Science and Engineering. I would like to highlight the glimpses about the FDP. Every day, we have 1 hour 30-minute session in both forenoon in the same time and afternoon from 2:30 to 4 p.m. The FDP comprises of the following topics. To begin with, we shall have a discussion on artificial intelligence, AI and machine learning techniques, followed by the current trends in futuristic computing technologies such as big data, data science, deep learning and its applications in medical image analysis, cloud computing, natural language processing, computer vision, and Internet of Things. The lecture will include interactive sessions with PowerPoint presentations and will stimulate discussions and reinforce the presented content. Upon completion of this FDP, you will have a stronger foundation on various domains of futuristic computing technologies. The speaker for today is Ms. Sada Suryavamshi, OSD in Directorate of Technical Education in Regional Office Mumbai, who will be presenting artificial intelligence. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them to the chat box. We will also have time for questions at the end. Feedback is scheduled every day after the session. All the participants are requested to fill the feedback form after each session. The feedback form link will be shared to the chat box. The link will be active for 15 minutes only. E-certificate will be issued upon the submission of feedback form after each session. Now, I would like to introduce Ms. Sadaf Suryavamshi. Ms. Sadaf Suryavamshi did her ME in Information Technology. She is a PhD scholar at CSMU Mumbai. She worked as software developer. She got selected by NPSC as lecturer in Diploma Engineering. She is currently working as OSD in Directorate of Technical Education in Regional Office Mumbai. I welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Now, I request Ms. Sada Suryavamshi to start the session. Over to you, madam.
Thank you, Rajni. Respected dignitaries, distinguished guests and participants, very warm good morning to all of you. Now, for today's topic, what we are going to cover is artificial intelligence. It's quite a broad topic. We cannot even imagine our life without AI today. Let's talk about from spam filtering to your mobile, like when you open your mobile phone using your face, or biometric, or any other thing what we do in normal life today is actually related to AI in some sort. So that's the reason when we talk about AI today, we say it's a very trending technology and it has a great scope of research. So in today's session, my highlights will be what is AI. I'm going to cover very basic of AI for those who are not aware of AI, because before going to future of AI and current trends, you must at least be aware of what we are going through in AI and what is AI. Then we'll talk about the foundations or domains of the AI. Then we'll talk about future of AI and current trends. Then we'll go ahead with the research perspectives, where exactly the research will come in AI. And then we'll talk about privacy and policy. Now, here also, I'm going to focus more on the research part. And then finally, if you want to be an AI researcher, what technologies you must be aware of? This is a very important question. Many people ask me. So we'll talk about this. And if time permits, then I'll share something where I am doing my research currently. So let's begin with your first thing, that is Alexa. So when we talk about Amazon Alexa, actually we are interacting, we are asking a lot of questions to Alexa, it's responding to us. So basically in the background, I will say that Alexa is using AI or artificial intelligence. How exactly it is using artificial intelligence? So there is a lot of natural language processing there, which is working in the background. Similar way, when we talk about Twitter, so when we write something and we have written something which is not very good, or it's a hate speech, then in that case Twitter basically look through AI and check out those contents or messages which are hate speeches, and they are deleted from the accounts, or probably in extreme cases the Twitter may delete your account as well. So basically behind this, see, understand one thing very well. When we write a normal basic program, it has its limitations. So here is the point where we need artificial intelligence, because when we talk about general human intelligence, it means that we have capability of thinking, we have a capability of rationally thinking, we have capability of taking some actions. But the same thing, if I provide to a machine, then I'll call it artificial intelligence, not a real intelligence. So currently we are nowhere close to human intelligence, but we are into the progression of getting close to the human like intelligence. And this is the time when research comes into picture, you know. So that is the reason we are talking about it right now, because when I talk about we are into progression of something, it gives me a huge space where I can think, where I can work, and where I can give my research inputs. So let's talk about the second example that I have taken as Netflix. When we work with the Netflix, we open and we watch a lot of movies. It gives us a recommendation. We nowhere think that in the background there's a lot of processing is going on, and the whole processing done on the basis of artificial intelligence. Similar way, Amazon gives you a lot of recommendations, and the recent news of Amazon, which has recently come, it says that Amazon is going to open inventory where it is going to keep all the stuff which you have not even ordered. So it is going to keep the stuff on the basis of artificial intelligence, that in future, after a month or so, or 15 days, you will be ordering that, because looking at your history, looking at the history of the people surrounding you, looking at the history of the similar type of people, Amazon may understand that you are going to need these stuff in the near future, and it is going to keep that inventory ready for you, so that when you ask for it, it will be in days, or maybe within a day you'll get that stuff. So that's where Amazon is working. Now, these are the very basic examples, daily basis we are using. When you open your phone, then there's an artificial intelligence. There we use machine vision, and we scan the face. Then we use machine learning algorithms to match our face with the face which is saved in your phone. And then social media accounts like Instagram, Facebook, For cyberbullying, we use it. Then Grammarly, this is now nowadays how when I open the YouTube, I recently have seen a lot of ad of this, that when you write any email or something, you use Grammarly, so that when you make a sentence, it will help you out. So basically, please understand how exactly it's going to help me out. So there should be some algorithm, there should be something behind the software which is going to help me out in this. So basically, if I write a general algorithm, so we all understand that it will give me a certain steps only. But AI in other way, it can actually think, it can manipulate, it can give me the output which is required. And here's the point: wherever I'm writing a sentence, at that point of time, AI will come into picture and help me out with certain options which I can use in my sentence. Similar Siri, Cortana, Alexa, Google Home, these are the some places where we normally use our this artificial intelligence. And the basic thing which we nowadays use, Google Map, and nowhere we think about AI. Basically, Google Map is continuously working in the background with the AI algorithms to give you the best result. So whenever we actually drive our car, it see which lane we have taken, then the new traffic, how much traffic is there, and whether, what are the weather conditions, what are the other conditions, where exactly you can go, and give me the best path available. And in meanwhile, while driving, if there's certain changes in the like path ahead where there's more traffic and something like that, then it changes my path automatically. So basically, it is in the background using AI in certain way. We all basically have bank apps nowadays, where be it Axis, be it HDFC. So one of the example I'm taking is Ava, which is HDFC Bank. It's nothing but a bot which is there, which communicates with you. In the background, it uses the artificial intelligence to communicate and give you the more answers. So we understood that in today's scenario, we are actually surrounded by artificial intelligence, and the days to come, this is going to be increased. So what is artificial intelligence? Very short, we're gonna look at it, and two parts I'm gonna focus on. As per John McCarthy, who's called as a father of artificial intelligence, AI is the science and engineering of making intelligent machines. So we want machines to be intelligent in certain way, so that what humans are doing, machines should actually do same. So what we are doing today, machine cannot do that. So we will not say that machines are that intelligent. So in this case, I'll say AI is of two types. Okay. So please understand what John McCarthy, I'll go back to my screen and I'll focus on the statement what John McCarthy has said: the science and engineering of making intelligent machines. So what we are doing, we are in the progress of making the machines intelligent. And here we have two things in hand. One is a human intelligence, and the second one right now is a machine intelligence. We are trying to make the machine intelligent at par with the human intelligence, but we have not succeeded yet. That's the reason we've got two types of artificial intelligence. That's a weak artificial intelligence and a strong artificial intelligence. I'll not go much into artificial intelligence is strong, because you already have seen a lot of fiction movies where you've seen a lot of robots doing a strong AI. They take the decisions on their own. They have own thinking power. Okay, but we'll talk about more weak AI. What is weak AI? Weak AI is something which has a capability of taking certain steps, but it cannot think on its own. All the steps are pre-programmed somewhere. All the things are in the database. It is not going to talk on its own. It cannot think. Whereas strong AI, we talk, then in that case, there are so many movies where we have seen, the image says the Ultron, if you have seen that movie. Ultron is a basic example of a strong AI, where it has its own thinking capability. It is not dependent on the written programs or the database for the execution of the work. Okay, so let's go ahead further. Artificial intelligence as a domain. So this 5 days workshop, what you are going to go ahead with, actually it's going to cover all artificial intelligence domains. So basic domain is machine learning, speech, vision, NLP, that is natural language processing, expert system planning, optimization. These are the few places where you can work. But understand one thing, natural language processing, actually the work is near about completed. If I tell you, if I talk about Alexa, then it gives you 98% correct results. So when we think about research in general now, guys, so it is very important for us to understand where exactly we can go further. So in NLP, work is actually 98% correct, and even sometimes Alexa gives you, or the NLP software algorithm gives you more accurate result than the human. So this is not the place where I'm going to focus, and vision speech is not the place where I'm going to focus. The main focus area for me is machine learning, where research can take place. So machine learning, deep learning, predictive analysis is the place where we can go further. So first, we have to understand the difference between all these three. When I talk about artificial intelligence, please understand artificial intelligence is the overall umbrella. It is not a single concept. It consists of a lot of different things that which we have just seen, like machine learning, vision, speech, robotics. It consists of a lot of things. But when you talk about artificial intelligence, as for me, it's going to mimic the human behavior. But when we talk about the machine learning, it is the computer's ability to do certain programming skills. Okay, then after machine learning, where the scientists have thought about is machine learning had its own certain disadvantages or restrictions. So they have come up with the deep learning. When we talk about deep learning, please understand it comes with neural network. Neural network we all are aware of. When we talk about human neural network, we have created a similar kind of neural network, and we try to replicate what is going in our brain and into the neural network. So this is called as CNN, and there are so many different types of neural network. So deep learning basically tries to replicate the human brain. So you all can understand that artificial intelligence is the top marketplace. I can say, if you have a look here, I'll just take my pointer and show you. If you say artificial intelligence, it is the output, guys. It is the output which is going to be there. But when we talk about the output, it needs the background, it needs certain algorithms, it needs certain processing, it needs certain things behind the curtain. So what artificial intelligence is, so you might have heard about driverless cars, you might have heard about the robots that goes on the moon, or different planets where they can do certain work instead of human. So all these are the final products, which I will say this is artificial intelligence. Any app you're using, any chatbot you're using, I will say that's a final product. So whenever I talk about artificial intelligence, that will be the final product. But when we talk about machine learning, it is behind the curtain. Actually, we are using machine learning for artificial intelligence, and today we are using even deep learning for artificial intelligence. So if you see, the outer side is artificial intelligence, machine learning and deep learning are part of your artificial intelligence. Machine learning, we can go ahead with logistic regressions, even neural network. But when we go ahead with deep learning, then we go ahead with long short training memory, neural Turing machines, and CNN, convolution neural networks. So this is deep learning. Okay, now machine learning is also having neural network, guys. So why there was a need to create the deep learning for artificial intelligence? The reason was the basic neural network architecture is very simple. It will not give you that output which is required. So deep learning uses a very complex neural network which has multiple hidden layers inside, which gives you more and more good output. So we'll have a look at it. So machine learning, we have input, then we do feature extraction, then we do certain type of classification, and we give you the output. If I give you an input as a car, and I'm going to extract the features of the car, do certain classification, and give you the output that whether this image is car or not. But what deep learning does, have a look at it. Deep learning, the human input is lesser in deep learning. If you see in machine learning, so there are input I have to provide. Feature extraction, I have to give certain inputs for the feature extraction. There should be something I have to do for the classification, and then it's going to give me the output. But if you see deep learning, feature extraction and classification is merged together. So it is normally, most of the people call it as a black box, you know. So I give you the input, you give me the output. What is inside, we don't know, because there could be n number of hidden layers in your neural network. So that will work to give you the ultimate output. That is a reason we actually go ahead with the deep learning, because when we talk about the older learning algorithms, the output it is going to give, the performance it's going to give was a flattened curve. In the beginning it started with a very good hike, but later on got a flattened curve. But now with the neural networks with multiple number of hidden layers adding in, the deep learning is giving me more output. I want to focus on one important thing, that is Turing tests. Now, why I'm focusing on Turing tests now? So, two things we have seen just now. One, what is artificial intelligence? So we understood that artificial intelligence is nothing but a bigger umbrella, and it actually tries to mimic the human. But inside the artificial intelligence, I have machine learning, I have deep learning, and inside the artificial intelligence, I have robotics. I have a lot of domains inside this. So in these 5 days, you'll be studying about all those domains. But now what I am focusing more about is, in 1950, Alan Turing has proposed an intelligence test for the machines, and there it has given us these 6 important things which I want to focus today. That is, if a machine is need to be called intelligent, it must have computer vision, it must have natural language processing, it must have knowledge representation. Knowledge representation means whatever machine is going to take, then it should be saved somewhere in the database, and the machine should be able to get the data from the database. That is knowledge representation. Then it should be automated reasoning. Then should be machine learning algorithm which are going to find out the patterns and detect the things inside your data. Then there should be robotics to give you certain output. Please understand, machine learning, robotics, NLP is all part of the big umbrella of artificial intelligence. If I need to call a device, a machine, a robot intelligent, I have to provide my robot with the vision. If my robot cannot perceive the things, if my machine cannot perceive the things, how exactly it is going to work around? If my machine is not going to talk with you, for example, take example of Google Home or Alexa, if these are not going to communicate with you, how you're going to think that the machine is human? See, what is the goal? The goal of artificial intelligence is to make you think that the other side is not a machine, it is a human. That is the goal of artificial intelligence. So here, natural language processing plays a very good role. Knowledge representation, automated reasonings, machine learning algorithms, robotics. That robotics comes into picture when I have to give you the output. Now I have calculated everything with the machine learning. I have taken the vision, NLP, I have communicated with you, I have kept my data inside, and I have to give you something. Then in that case, for interaction purpose, I need the robotics part. So these are the very, very important things of the artificial intelligence. And guys, why I'm focusing, I'm coming back to this, why I'm focusing on these things, because in your research, we cannot work on everything. Research is not related to working on everything. I cannot work on AI, guys. Today, AI is such a normal term for everybody that they use AI like anything. Like for every other thing, they call it a AI. No, today, not every other thing is AI. And you cannot, in research, you cannot work on a whole AI. You have to work on one of these. That's why I'm giving you the Turing test example. Alan Turing has given you these 6 important things on which we can work as a researcher. So either you can work on the human vision, work on a specific targeted area so that you can get the best result out of it. You cannot work on everything to get the result. You have to work on the particular thing in the research to get the result. So either of these things you can go ahead working. Okay, so what are the trends in AI? Let's go ahead and find out. Now, as per the wave from where I have taken these images, as per these people, what they are saying, the companies which are going to work with AI in the future for next 5 to 7 years, they will be the front runners. They'll achieve the more percentage of profit. The companies which will be the followers, means they are not the front runners, they'll be achieving approximate 10% of the profit. But the companies who will not work on AI, they will be losing approximately 23% of their revenue. So guys, AI is going to be there everywhere, everywhere. Please understand, it's going to be on your right hand side, it's going to be there in travel, transportation, retail, oil, gas, chemicals, insurances, your medicals. These are the places where AI is going to be there. And believe me, the work is already being started. Not nobody is waiting for us to do the research. Research is being started in a lot of different places where the AI can help. What is the future of AI? When we talk about this, then I am going to point out these certain places which I have taken it from Practica. So these are the places. Static image recognition, most of the work is being done on this, guys. So I will not suggest you to go for your research in the static image recognition, because today if we talk about even static or dynamic, the most of the softwares which are giving 99 to 100% accurate results, most of the airports or places where they are using these techniques. Classification you can go ahead work with, and tagging is the thing where you can work. I'll talk about tagging a little. In Facebook nowadays, when we upload our images, then the tags automatically come, right? So there's a lot of computing, artificial intelligence behind that, which gives you the tagging. So this is the place we can actually start working on. Algorithmic trading strategy, performance improvement, efficient scalable processing of patient data. Now please understand, in healthcare, AI is going to boom like anything. And in today's COVID scenario, you might have seen that there's a lot of places where AI is being used. So government of India has launched app which basically works in the inside of that app is nothing but your artificial intelligence, which collects a lot of data from a lot of places and tells you that the nearby 500 meters you'll have a COVID patient, so be aware of that. So in the background there's a lot of AI which is working, so we can go ahead work on that. Predictive maintenance, object identification, these are the some of the places. And I'll focus on this cyber security threats. Cyber security is going to be a very, very good area for research. If trends are to be believed, then by 2040 we'll be completely shifting to the cloud, and at that point cybersecurity will play a very important role. So for research purpose, I will suggest that if anybody wish to go for that, then cybersecurity is a very good thing right now. Then content distribution on social media is another very good future of artificial intelligence. Like this, there's so many places you can work on. So when we talk about AI, so this is the 7 important things which I have understood studying a lot of things, that AI integration with web and mobile apps. Nowadays, your mobile and web applications are actually using AI, but we can think of more algorithms, guys. Please understand what my basic understanding is. As a researcher, we can work more on the algorithms. So the background, let's say in the artificial intelligence era, we can work on the machine learning algorithms, you can work on the deep learning algorithms, neural networks. So we can work on this. This is future of AI. We talk about chatbots. There's a surge of chatbot in COVID-19. If you talk about, every country have started their own chatbots with their own language. This is very, very important, guys, because if you live in India or any other country where the native language is not English, then in that case it's very difficult for the general people to actually work with the chatbots. So everybody is starting with their own language. So here NLP comes into picture. Okay, so this is very, very important to work with the text like languages or natural language processing for the chatbots to communicate with the general people. Then IoT is into market. It is very trendy now. Most of the places in coming future we will see IoT like The lights, if you come into the room, the lights will switch on their own. If we are driving and reaching our office, the office air conditioning, the office blinds, the office chair, everything, chairs will be settled on their own. No, you don't need to do anything. So every other thing will be intelligent. So basically artificial intelligence is the concept which is driving IoT also, because when we talk about IoT, that is making the things intelligent. So when I want to make my things intelligent, somewhere or other I need AI. So we can here work on this area as well. AI will actually back the medical research a lot, diagnosis, treatments, and even today in COVID situation, I'll take certain examples, which is currently going ahead, and probably England or Malaysia. These are places from where I've taken certain examples. So medical research is being done there, and even in India, the medical researchers are using artificial intelligence as their background. More hardware will be powered by AI. This is a very, very good area of work, because hardware is something, as a computer professional, we never think of it, but the hardwares will be more powered by AI. So more AI based startups will be launched, and the future, what I see is it is going to impact the workforce. Most of the people say that AI is not going to impact the workforce, but it has started impacting the workforce. Many are places where robots are replacing, in the industry, robots are replacing the people. So the jobs not are not there for the common man, because AI is doing very, very basic things to the complex things on its own. What are the requirements for the future? This is a very, very important question when we are going to work in the AI domain. Requirement, there are two basic requirements, what I understood. There could be more, you can correct me later, but please understand the two important things which I think is AI enabled chips are going to be there. So Nvidia, Intel, AMD, these are the companies which are already started working on the AI enabled, because when we talk about artificial intelligence, then it needs lot of power, guys. Your normal computers cannot give that power, because when I am working on my research area, so my normal computer cannot process that fast. So initially when I started, so my I had a i5 computer with me, Intel i5, but my computer used to halt every now and then. It used to pause, it used to not work, and it used to hang. The reason is because the chips, the processors, they are not that fast that AI requirement is. So today, these are the big companies which are actually working on AI enabled chips. And the more work, I'm highlighting this, the more work is going ahead in the field, programmable gate arrays, that is called as FPGA, and application specific integrated circuits. So normal integrated circuits we already know, but this is application specific integrated circuits which the people are making nowadays for the specific applications to run on that specific speed it require for that. The next important AI requirement for future will be cloud, for sure. Cloud nowadays, if we know, it is taking every place, so in future, artificial intelligence going to club with the cloud, and it is going to give you some real life experiences. So this could be a place of research where cloud and artificial intelligence can club together. Big companies like Amazon, Alibaba, Google, IBM, these Oracle, they have already started research on this cloud artificial amalgamate. Let's talk about the applications now. When we talk about the applications, we'll talk in two parts, guys. One, we will talk about the current scenario, and the second, we'll talk about what we can do as a researcher if we want to do something. Then applications of AI is currently very, very vastly used for the healthcare, and due to the COVID, people are getting into education also. Autonomous vehicles are coming up. If you know, Elon from the Tesla, they are actually launching autonomous vehicles, they say driverless cars. Business places, I can use AI. Travel and industry is going to be using AI. Social media is already using AI, and it is going to be more dense. Guys, currently, when I do simple Google search, a general person does not understand that behind that simple Google search, there is a lot of AI involved in the background. There are a lot of algorithms working to give you your best output. See, when I search something, I get certain different outputs from Google. When you search something, you get certain different, because Google has studied us. Google has seen what our likings are, what our dislikings are, what places we click on, which sites we want to go frequently. Those comes up on the higher priorities. For me, those could be different. For you, those could be different. So these things are not done by a normal algorithm, but it is being done by artificial intelligence. Lot of AI is being used by Google nowadays. Now we will talk about a few examples which are currently coming. I'll not talk about all the industries, guys, because that will be too much. I will talk about a very basic industries, like I'll talk about food sector. I will talk about your medical sectors, and I will talk about the gaming sectors, which I feel are the three booming sectors for artificial intelligence. And the first place where AI started to develop was the gaming sector, because people want to see more realistic games. Okay, so okay, we'll talk about it in a minute, but we'll go ahead with the AI in food sector first. Okay, so food companies actually added AI to their recipes. This is a huge shift, because normally if a person gives you suggestion for certain recipes, he may overlook certain things. But when you put a AI application or algorithm behind the scene, so it is not going to overlook anything. It's going to take all the combination, all the rigorous work it can do, all the tedious work which is there for the human can be taken by artificial intelligence, can work like that to give you better recipes. In 2000, not really sure about the year, in 2018 or 17 somewhere, Lay's actually launched a program where they have asked the people to contribute with their recipes of Lay's, and people have given them a lot of recipes. So you may think that if the recipes are coming only from India, so probably there would be at least million recipes, or in lakhs, so it will be really difficult for any person or set of people to actually look at every recipe and find out which is the best recipe to make the Lays. So what they have done was they actually used a machine learning algorithm in the background, and they have given the input as the recipes, and the algorithm has decided that which combination of spices can do better together, using some behind the scene data, of course. And then the algorithm has given them certain output that okay, if you use this recipe because it has these spices, it's going to do better. So this way the Lay's has finalized certain recipes and came out with the results. Otherwise, analyzing and finding out the best recipes out of millions of recipes, it's really difficult. The second example I can give you is Pick to Recipe. You can even go to their website. It's a very good site where they have given their actually published work also. So you can just go to Pick to Recipe, and you can just type it in the Google and you'll get their website, and there they have given their published paper as well. So I have taken this image from their published paper. I will not focus anywhere, because this is not the session to work on the encoder decoders type. Here is what I'm going to focus on. If you see, it is the connected weights we are talking about. So what we are doing here is, it is all deep learning, guys. It is deep learning where your neural network is being used. So they have used fully connected weights over here, and they are going to work around. But how many hidden layers it's been using to give me the output, they have not given. But what this whole concept pick to recipe was, if I give you a picture of any thing, so their software can give me the recipe, and if I give you them a recipe of something, they can give me a related picture of that recipe. So it is really nice, you know, when I go to certain site or somewhere and I see a certain thing and I feel like I want to make this but I don't have the recipe, then this is the place where you can actually go and put the pic and they can give you the recipe. You can try it out later. You can go to pick to recipe and you can just check out. They have given a sample test also for the users. So my main concept is deep learning, guys, deep learning AI. So they have used artificial intelligence for this work. So in the food sector, a lot of places where people are using artificial intelligence. But today, in today's scenario, I will say AI is not working alone. We need certain human expertise as well, because at certain places, we need analysts and certain people who can actually work along with the AI. So the current situation is human along with the AI, but in future, only AI can manage all the work. Current AI places, recently only I heard about some Bangalore based restaurant which started with the robots. So probably what they are doing is the big background, they're using artificial intelligence, because when you are telling robot to go and deliver the food on the table, basically you need some intelligence in the robot so to function in that manner. So if somebody has ordered a food from table number 23, the robot cannot go to table number 24 and deliver it. So there must be certain background algorithm which works on this. Similar way, I heard about like 2-3 years back, I've heard about some hotel in China also. They have started with some robot. Similar way, IBM introduced a Chef Watson. You can just search. I'll just briefly talk about this. So IBM, what they have done, they have created a Watson Chef, and this is AI-enabled digital culinary research assistant. So basically, what it can do is it can when I'm creating certain recipe, then it can help me out with what ingredients we can put in and what ingredients go well together with the help of a lot of database it has. So basically, when again and again when I'm talking about AI now, so I'm talking about database. This is a very, very important concept for you to remember. As a researcher, you need very, very good database. And one important thing which I realized later, actually, we need very clean database. If the database is not clean, then we don't get good results. Because when I worked on my machine learning algorithm and I created my own database, and that was not very clean, so I did not get good result. But the same work I have done on the international databases, so my algorithm gave me very, very nice results. So currently, some of the research options taking place in the food industry, what you can actually, and we all can actually think of working on. We can work on algorithms which can make a better hygienic environment. We can work on food and beverage and supply chain optimization, so that there will be less waste and more transparency. For example, there's a shelter home near my restaurant, okay, and we need to deliver food. Then there should be some intelligent algorithm which can tell me that today this food, you make this much food or this much food will be waste, so you can deliver it on time to the shelter home and so on. We can sort the food, and actually in food industry, sorting food is the major work. So if we make optical sorting solutions by artificial intelligence, then that will be really, really good. And we can go ahead the predictive maintenance, remote monitoring. We can go ahead with the customer match taste. I am very sure that in 10-20 years there will be customized wafers for you, probably customized lace flavor for you. So when you take the chips, you have a customized flavor for yourself. This is possible with the help of AI. introducing new recipes, because see, when we talk about the food industry, they take years and years to work around the food to find out the very good recipes. But if I work with artificial intelligence, this work can be the time limit for this work can be very shortened, you know. So they can find out different spices which can go along, different things which can go along, and find out the new recipes very fast. But again, as I told you, we need some food expert. Later when the recipe is ready, we have to taste and find out whether this is a good recipe or not. Okay, the growth of food beverages. I have taken this image from Mordor Intelligence. So we when we talk about this, so growth rate we are talking about. So if you see this section, see India comes under this section. This is green, which says it's very high growth rate in food and beverage market. AI is going to be there, and I say AI will be everywhere in this section. See, so mid and low sections are also there. Basically, if we talk about this part, no, AI has already been there, you know. This has not reflected in this section, so it's going to be more fast than the other sections of the world. So India is one of them where food and beverage market will be on boom. So we can think of creating certain algorithms for food and beverage market. Next, which I told you is very important as per me, uh, AI in the gaming section. You know, there are basically two types of gaming work. One normally is pathfinding. I'm sorry, the spelling is incorrect. It's pathfinding. Uh, if you look at the games, what I have seen, most of the games I've seen. So one is pathfinding, that you take your gun, you find the path, you go here, shoot something, do that, like that. And the second is finite state machines. So you have certain states which are finite in the game, and you have to work around those states to reach your goal. So any AI algorithm can work on either of these two actually sectors, I feel. Either you can work on the pathfinding, because, and I tell you, pathfinding will be very good research thing in the future, because nowadays more and more games are coming which are becoming to be more realistic. So when we play certain games, so my software should actually find out the path for me, and I should focus on more important thing, that is doing certain thing with that particular game. It is a shooting game, or if it is running game, or if it is driving game, so I should give more focus on driving. I should more give more focus on running. I should give more focus on maybe shooting, rather than finding my path. So I can use artificial intelligence algorithm in the background, that could be deep learning, or basically machine learning, where the path could be given to my player in advance, so that he can take the decision where exactly he wants to go. Then second one is a finite state machine, which we can work around. AI can be used for testing games, analytics. Today we are actually, if we talk about, so have a look here. We are basically using procedural general techniques to design a game from start. Now, please understand what is a procedural general technique. When you see a very high definition, very high graphics game, you know, each and every part of the game is separately designed and brought together, you know. So if I tell you, I'll just show it to you actually. If you can see this image I've taken from one of the games, you know. So if you see this building, or if you see this path, or these trucks, or the trash, or the building front, or the character which is playing this game, so these all things are designed by the designers in separation, and it takes a lot of time, you know. So AI in gaming is very expensive. Even when I talk about a scientific movie, the budget of a scientific movie can be the budget of an AI game, because when we include all such things, and again, our, as a normal person, as a layman, my point of view, or my thinking is, it should look more real, you know. So I would like to play a game which is more real in nature, rather than playing a game which doesn't look real. So the moment I talk about more real game, I have to create all these things from the scratch. So this is called procedural general technique, where your designers, your work behind the scene, they design everything, and hours they work. So don't you think they're going to charge for those hours? Yes, of course. So for a single building, when I talk about it, it can cost $3,900 to create this whole section of the building to look as real as possible. So what AI can do in this? Artificial intelligence can help you out in this. What artificial intelligence techniques can do is, I can take a real life video, I can feed into my AI, and then my AI algorithm can work around and give me the similar gaming footage with the same scenario of what the real life video is. So the cost will be cut by the artificial intelligence with the help of this, rather than doing all these things from the scratch. Another two important things which I feel I should talk about is ray tracing in gaming. And second is more important, is create a natural landscape or gaming characters. So nowadays, when we look at the games, the characters are more and more real in nature, you know. So ray tracing, what is ray tracing? I'll tell you about it. Basically, when we stand in front of any light or maybe sun, so there is a shadow which comes, you know. But when you see earlier games, so the ray tracing concept was not there. So if you are standing in front of some light, and I'm sorry, not me, if a character, gaming character, is standing in front of some light, or it's standing on the road, so the shadow was not the concept, you know. Ray tracing was not there. How much shadow should it have when it is standing in the sun, which is just come, and it's 12 o'clock or maybe 4 o'clock, or maybe some furniture is there, how much shadow it can have. In earlier games, all these things were missing, but due to the AI, all of these things have been introduced. In the background, the AI algorithm works on a lot of real life scenarios. I know, as a researcher, you all know this very well, that for any of the application or any of the algorithm, I'll be providing a lot of data to make it behave more as a human. So ray tracing is a concept which we can provide or put it in the artificial intelligence by providing it with more and more real life images and videos. If we talk about companies like Nvidia, Minecraft, Unity, and there's a lot more in companies there which are using AI in the gaming. AI can be used more realistic smoke and fluid movements like that. I'll instead of just talking, I'll just show you something over here. Um, just a second.
Developed a machine learning system that is trained by watching motion capture clips showing various kinds of movement. The system correspondingly then generates an animation. This can be anything from a jog to a run to hopping over an object.
To train our system, we first capture several long sequences of raw locomotion data at a variety of speeds, facing directions and turning angles. We also capture motion of stepping, climbing and running over obstacles placed in the capture studio. By giving as input the height of the terrain under the trajectory, our character can adapt to rough terrain, climbing, balancing and jumping where required. Either using the gamepad or the environment, we can get the character to crouch or move under obstacles. It can additionally be forced into certain environments such that the desired motion is performed, as shown walking over this beam. In summary, we present a new method for character control using a face function neural network, which can produce high quality motion for complex.
So when you talk about this, the whole section, what we have seen just now is the character should look more human. Then in this case, we should understand that this will happen if in the background I'm going ahead with a deep learning. So with the help of deep learning, we are going ahead, we are using n number of hidden layers to work with, to give a character more like a natural human gesture, you know, postures and gestures. Similar way, I'll just show you
control tasks such as
over here. As I was telling you about
In a free market, whatever is cheaper, faster, and better will eventually become the standard. The same applies to the gaming industry. Let's start with game development. It's no secret that the cost of video games is going up. But why is this? Once upon a time, major games could be made with a small number of people. This is because the assets or 3D components of the game were simple. As time went on, games strove to chase realism. As this happened, the components of the game became ever more complex.
So we understood that as in when the more complex things are happening, there's a need of artificial intelligence somewhere or other. So
Developed a machine learning system.
In gaming also, we can go ahead and do a lot of research work. Now I'll talk about AI in the healthcare, and I will basically talk about basic COVID scenario, because when we talk about AI and we'll not talk about COVID, then the session will not be completed. So what we can do, the first, I'll talk about only 4 scenarios which can be there. I've taken it from the University of Malaysia, what they have done. Body temperature detection is one part. So now today, how exactly you do body temperature detection? So in every office, there's a person sitting. Whenever some stranger comes, you take your machine, you start, you're standing away from him, but still you need to check him. And manually, you have to check the every other person. You cannot check everybody at the same time together for this. So here the deep learning can play a very good role, where the body temperature can be detected using the infrared and keeping yourself at the safe distance. And AI can be used, deep learning can be used for keeping all this data in the database, so that certain other analysis can be done on this data. Detection by pneumonia, lung infection can be done. Detection of COVID-19 virus in the body can be done. Actually, as per WHO, World Health Organization, they have given that even if there is a discoloration of the fingers, then there's a high chance of COVID-19. So using my artificial intelligence algorithm, what we can do is we can find out the skin abnormalities in the person, and we can find out whether the person is actually infected by the COVID or not. But this is the one which is my favorite. Detecting COVID-19 recovered patient. Actually, currently what we are doing using RT-PCR technology for the testing, right? And what this testing is done, even if a person is recovered and the person has developed the antibodies, but still, because the dead virus is there in the body of the recovered patient, this test is going to make him positive because the virus is there. So the test is not able to find the difference between the dead and the live virus. So with the help of deep learning algorithms, we'll be able to classify the dead and live virus from the body of the patient, and we can ensure the patient is fully recovered. And this way we can even find out that who are how exactly we can work in the deeper depth, going into depth and find out more about this virus with the help of deep learning algorithm, which is actually not possible physically doing it. So if as a researcher or as a scientist or a doctor, medical doctor, they are working on this virus, so it is not really possible working on all aspects of this virus. But if we use deep learning algorithm and we feed it with a lot of data from around the world, that is really possible to find about more about this. And today I'll tell you, in India or all over the world, people are using artificial intelligence for the detection of AI, and they are predicting what could be the next in the AI, pandemic case. Okay, so we have checked what is AI, we have seen what is machine learning, deep learning. Then we've already talked about the hardware part, and we've already talked about the places where AI will be there in future. Actually, it is still there and it can be there in future. But from my perspective, where we can work in the research. So as I told you earlier also, as a researcher, we can work as per me, guys. Maybe you have a different opinion. You can definitely tell me about that. So we can work in basically in two aspects of research. That is, one is business intelligence and the second one is artificial intelligence. Now, when I talk about AI whole, so I have divided it into these two. I have taken it from a YouTube segment. This is not my image. So business intelligence is what happened, why did it happen, and then this is manual process of taking the decision, this section. So what happened and why did it happen is a BI. And AI is what will happen in the future. AI is going to tell me more about the future. What should I do for it? It is going to give me the recommendation. And here, if you come this point, it is not AI actually. AI make it automated. So any work, if it is automated, I don't have to supervise that work, then in that case, I'll say it is automatic in artificial intelligence. It is doing everything on automatically. So please understand, before going ahead with AI, we have to go ahead with BI, that is business intelligence. That is what happened. You have to ask yourself, you have to take a lot of statistics report, you have to take a lot of data, guys. You have to always remember, you have to collect lot of data. Without data, you won't be able to proceed with AI. Then why did it happen? Okay, so certain scenario currently, if you talk about COVID, certain scenarios there in India, certain scenarios there in some other country. So why, what happened here, what happened there, why it happened here, why it happened, the other thing happened there. So you have to compare and take the things. Then after that, AI algorithm is going to take all this and it's going to give you the predictions, it is going to give you the certain recommendation. And if this job what AI is doing, it is repeatable, then I'll say we have achieved AI automation. So as for me, these are the two places where we can work. So we'll go ahead further. What we need to know before research begins. As for me, if you'll ask me, as a researcher, basically we will not work on whole AI, as I told you earlier also. We will not work on a bigger concept. Research is more about going into detail, minute things. So working with algorithm is the first concept. Whatever algorithm you choose today, you must be aware that what exactly it is doing. You should be aware of all the algorithms, all the working. Then you should first is working with the algorithm. I am sorry, I talk about the understanding. Working means we have to work with the algorithm, you have to use it, you have to run it and see what happens. Then you have to understand the algorithm, what exactly inside, what things, what conditions, what coding is there. Then you should be able to modify the algorithm. And the last one, you can be writing a new algorithm altogether. By understanding this algorithm, you feel that this algorithm is not sufficient, this is not good for this purpose, then you can write an all new algorithm by yourself. So basically, when we do any research, we can work with the algorithm, we understand certain algorithm, we can modify that algorithm, or we can write new algorithm. See, concepts are not going to come into your mind from the moon. You have to study, you have to study current work, you have to study the things which has happened before, which are there since long. You have to do that research, and once you read those algorithms, work with those algorithms, understand the algorithm, you can do two things. Either you can modify those algorithms or you can write new algorithms. And when you complete this algorithm, trust me, you actually did a research under the umbrella of AI, under the umbrella of AI. So you can call yourself a AI researchers if you modify or write a new research algorithm. When I talk more about algorithm, now guys, probably most of you know about this, but still I felt to cover it, because some of the people don't know this very well. Because when I talk about algorithm, I what I told you here, just here in this slide, that as a researcher, what we need to know in the beginning, that we need to know the algorithm. But when we talk about algorithm, guys, so we talk about the traditional algorithm. No, there are two types of algorithm. One is a traditional algorithm, and the second one is your AI algorithm, which basically calls as a machine learning algorithm. What is traditional algorithm? Have a look. Traditional algorithm takes the input, it takes the program which you type and write. The program takes input one by one. and it gives you certain predicted output. Matlab, you know that if your program is for black and white, it takes black, gives you the output white, it takes white, gives you the output black. This is what your traditional algorithm do. This algorithm is nowhere related to AI. Okay, so when I go to a let's say some vending machine, and I click a button, I get a Pepsi out of it, I'll say it is a AI. So no, it's not a AI. Probably there's certain algorithm written in the background, but it is doing certain specific work. So AI is not about that. If a vending machine can learn by itself, I'll say there is a AI. Okay, so traditional algorithm, I hope you understood. We are not going to talk about traditional algorithm anymore. We don't want it. We don't want a program to be written by ourselves. We don't want to give that program input, and we don't want the output to be given. What I want is this. I am going to give my algorithm the input and expected output, and my program is algorithm is going to give me a program. So this is what I want. And this program what I'm talking about, no, this program is my model. So when I talk about machine learning or deep learning, what these algorithms are going to do, they are going to create, the algorithm is going to take certain data, and this algorithm is going to give you a model, and this model or program in future can take decision on its own. So when you give some new input to this model, it can take the decision on this its own. So in artificial intelligence, there are two important concepts. One, when we talk about, we give the input to the algorithm. The first is algorithm, which as a researcher you will be writing. And when you complete this algorithm and give the input to the algorithm, this algorithm is going to give you a model. And that is the point where you're going to start the function of AI, because this model will take a new input and it is going to work around that new input and give you the output. Okay, so this is machine learning. So I'll take a simple example, that is assume there's demographic information about people. So there's a demographic plus loan transaction, and I give an output as loan default or not. Then the program will be loan default model. So what will happen? Using the demographic information of people, loan transactions of the people as an input, and output how many people have been defaulted on the loan and how many people are not default on the loan. These two inputs giving to my algorithm, I am going to create a model which will be loan default model, and this model in future will tell me that this person, oh yes, this person, demographic information, loan transaction, this can be a defaulter. So take certain action now. For the future, it can give me the predictions. So this is machine learning, which comes under artificial intelligence. Now, the next and foremost important part is privacy and policy. Artificial intelligence technology should have certain things. You probably have heard about Facebook latest issue, because Facebook normally uses our data, guys, and where exactly this goes, nobody knows. So when we talk about data, if it is my data, you have taken my video. So if I am in the video, then that should belong to me, right? So when you are using that, so there should be some privacy policy should be there, no? How much data you can use, what exactly that you can do with my data. So these privacy policies are not there till now. So they are into progress, but because artificial intelligence is a very, very new concept, privacy and policies are not really into picture yet. But what we can do is we can create certain algorithms to keep the data secure. As I told you earlier also, cloud will be a very, very big concept for next 20-30 years, and AI is going to jump on cloud. AI is not going to work alone. It is definitely going to take hands with cloud computing, and there you need a lot of privacy things. So we can think in this direction for the research to talk about the privacy. Okay, we have reached our last part, requirements for AI researchers. As this is as per me, I have taken it from medium.com. And what we can say is you need to know one programming language, guys. It could be Python, it could be R, it could be Java. You should know. But if you ask me, I'll prefer Python. The reason is it has vast libraries behind. So when you work on actually C Sharp, .NET, or any other thing, so you don't get those many libraries to work as an AI researcher. So you need to work. You should actually, you can take Java, R, or Python, anything of your choice. I'm just giving an example that if you have taken Python, so next you have to learn pandas, NumPy. These are the two guys. Please understand, these two you have to work around. Okay, even I have started working around these two because I was not aware of these earlier. But I have started working around pandas and NumPy now, because Python, when you talk about, so these are the two libraries you have to actually work with. Then scikit learn, you have to work with machine learning code. You have to work with statistics and probabilities, guys. If you are afraid of mathematics, you don't want to do a lot of maths and work around the formulas, then I'm really sorry, you have to work with that, because you have to understand a lot of formulas and you have to work around a lot of things. Because when I talk about existing algorithms, yeah, as I told you, I have to understand, guys. Please, you have to think like this, that if I'm going to create something new, at least I should understand the current thing. And when you don't understand statistics, probabilities, and all those things, that will be really difficult. And one background thing, so SQL is the basic where you can start, guys. Then you can go ahead with much further things you can do. So SQL is the far basic thing which I'm telling you to start with. So as a researcher, at least you should start working with these technologies. Once you use those algorithms, you can try modifying some code in that, and you can check what these can do. And then later on, after working all those things, then you can probably find out a new code in that algorithm which can help that algorithm better, or probably you may turn up with a new, altogether a new algorithm for yourself. So with this, I hope you understood my session. I If you permit me, I have certain my things which I'm doing. So this is it. So Vijay ma'am, if time permits, can I continue?
Hello? Yeah, tell me further.
Ma'am, can I continue with 2 or 3 more slides, because time is already, I'm already done with the time.
Yeah, there is some questions also.
Okay.
Ranjini ma'am?
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, ma'am, for your excellent presentation. Thank you for your time and expertise on AI. Now it's time for questions. I request the participants to type your question to the chat box on YouTube. Meanwhile, I shall bring the questions asked by the participants. We have a questions, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, please go ahead.
There is a question from the participant. As a driverless car can't be used in reality, the reason is one can't take immediate decision, and this technique was tested and failed by Volvo for their automatic braking system. How would you justify this error?
See, you are absolutely correct, because this has done with the Google part, what we are talking about. The car actually failed, and it actually hit a man on the road when they were live testing. But see, as I told you, AI is evolving, it is taking a lot of things into consideration. And still, we talk about convolution neural networks. They are not fully done working with. We are actually doing a lot of work on that. So actually, I heard something from Tesla's CEO Elon, sir, that they are working more on this part, because driverless car, still it is not reality. But after 10 years, if it is it comes into picture, and you sit in the car, and if you don't think about sitting and driving in that car, then you trust AI. So anywhere, not really close a year or so, you will get the output. But definitely AI is working very hard to move from a weaker AI to a more, let's say, stronger AI. That's what I explained in the beginning. This is how I will justify, that even the driverless car is possible, but not currently possible. But still, we can work around it with our deep learning algorithms. There's a lot of possibility of going ahead with it.
Okay, ma'am. There
Hello?
is another question.
Yes, ma'am.
How about deep learning in aeronautical?
Deep learning in
Aeronautical engineering.
Deep learning in aeronautical engineering.
Yes, ma'am.
Basically, I will say I have not really worked on this part, but it can be used for finding the faults and failures in complex aerospace system. Currently, that is being done by the humans. So we can use deep learning or some that neural networks for faults and failure finding, and we can actually work by solving certain anomalies, and we can say machine learning can be used in this part. And if not machine learning, then definitely neural network deep learning can be done for this faults and failure finding in aerospace systems. I am not really sure about more because I have not worked into this, but definitely I'll work around and come up with a certain better answer.
Thank you, ma'am, for clarifying the doubt. Now you can carry on with something you are working on. You want to present it. You can
Okay.
carry on that.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It's a very, very brief thing which I'll show you what I was working, and what things we can do. So I'm basically I'm working on machine learning. So we all know what is machine learning till now. That machine learning is I'm going to give certain. I have an algorithm. So I have taken two algorithms over here. If you see Hue algorithm and Zernike, these are the two algorithms which I have used. And I'm going to give train these algorithms. And when I train these algorithms, definitely these algorithms are going to give me some model. And I have implemented this model to find out a face of a person in certain different scenarios. Like if a person is currently, and on a artificial intelligence platform, if I talk about, so this face recognition can be used in the airports, where different people come with different expressions. Normally some people may be going far away, so they're sad. Some people will be happy, some people will be neutral. And what we can do with this is I can identify the facial expressions, and I can work around those expressions. So I tested two algorithms, Hue and Zernike, and I found out that with Zernike actually works in levels. I cannot give you the whole explanations of Zernike, but you can go ahead and search with that. It has certain levels. I have worked on Zernike level 1, 3, and 7, and I have found out that Zernike level 7 works better to identify the faces. So as I told you, I have created my own database, and there I have used certain Indian images, and I used to give these images to my system, and then the system is going to give me the movement of the person. That means it's going to tell me about the expression, whether it is sad, happy, angry, what exactly that person is. So here one more important thing what I have added is I actually added a part of a criminal database also. So now this lady is my friend. No, not a criminal. Otherwise, you might be thinking I've added a criminal database, so the image is coming from there. No, this is a general image I've taken. And I'm giving an example that at the airport, imagine the camera is fetching the images, taking the images of the people. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find out their expressions, what exactly they are. If the people is angry or suspicious in certain manner, they're afraid, or their facial expression says so, then in that case what I'm going to do is I'm going to match their image with my criminal database images. And if I can find this image in my database, means this person is suspicious in nature, and we can go, and then the airport professionals can go and reach that person and find out what's happening with that person, because the facial expressions say so that the person is not in a good condition right now. So what I did was I've tested this thing with two algorithms, U and Zarnike, and find out the Zarnike 7 gave me the better output. But as I told to you, when I created my own set of images, guys, so I actually did not work really on the focus, lightings, and pixel quality. So when I worked and saved a lot of approximately I saved 250 around 250 images for my work of different people. Then the output was not coming the way I was expecting. Then later my guide told me to work around JAF database, and then when I worked around the JAF database, it gave me actually better results. So when you are that's what I was telling you, when you're working on any of the work, then you should actually use a standard database that can give you a better output rather than creating your own database. So later, actually, I could not publish my own database. So this is the part which I have already done. Now, what next I am planning to do in this is I am planning to go ahead to find the emotion of a person. See, if a person looks happy, doesn't mean that he is happy. So see, I am smiling, doesn't mean that internally I'm happy. So what I am planning to do further with my research is I'm going to work around the people with some deep learning. Like I'm going to work around the neural networks. Post this work, I'm going to work around neural network, where I am going to uh, pick up the people and find out that whether the person which is smiling is actually happy or not. So this is the emotion detection work which currently I am working. So because I have not done much work into it, and I cannot tell you more about my current work. So this is a basic idea which I think will give you a clear understanding that how exactly you can begin your work. And I hope I made a good presentation for you all, and all the very best for your research. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Shall I take your some time for answering some questions?
Sure, ma'am. There are more questions?
Yeah, there were some questions, but I'm just bringing down few questions from that.
Sure, ma'am. Definitely, we can take that.
Yeah. To do research, there's a question. To do research, we'll need open source codes. Any suggestions on which platform can we get other than GitHub?
Other than?
GitHub.
Actually, most of the open search work I have taken it from is from the GitHub only. That is the place actually we get a lot of things, you know.
Okay.
Currently, I am really not aware of other. I knew, but right now I don't remember. But ma'am, what I can do is I can send you later on. You can share with the person who's asking.
Sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. Do you know any websites for getting the reference papers related to healthcare?
Website means basically, see, I normally for the research papers, if you're talking about, or reference papers, then I'll say Springer or AIEEE Explore. These are the places where I can go. So wherever you are actually now, so many people come up like these are the places where you have to pay and get the papers. So guys, I'll suggest that your wherever you are doing your research, so your organization or wherever you're working probably may have taken the AI triple E membership or Springer membership. So there you can download those papers and work around. And if not possible, then what I have done, I'm telling you frankly. So there are a few of my friends who are actually in IITs. IIT Mumbai, one of my friend is doing her PhD. So what I did was I go to these websites, whatever website you want, you can just go ahead with these websites. And what you can do is you can just read the abstract. They normally give you the abstract and the reference paper. This is what they will definitely give. So go ahead, read the abstract, find the certain reference paper, actually find the reference paper, read the topic of the reference paper, put that reference paper also, and then read the abstract of that. And keep those papers which interest you, because understand, you cannot read everything. This is my personal experience. You can read 50, 100 papers, but you cannot read 1,000 and 10 lakh papers. So what I can read is I can read the abstract, and every website which is paid gives you the free abstract. Read the abstract and take the DOI from that place, which paper interests you, and from your organization or from your friends, you can actually get it downloaded. Because I've seen, I have an account on ResearchGate also. But what ResearchGate does, it asks for the permission of your owner of the paper, which takes a lot of time. The owners of the paper, most of the time, they don't give permission, because this is my personal experience. I have sent requests to many of them to share their original work paper, because I could not download it from certain websites. So I, on the ResearchGate, I've told them to give me the papers, but they did not share it. And if some people who are very genuine, good people who share their work, then they take minimum 1 week to 2 weeks, and that is a lot of time for us to wait. So what we can do is we can actually give it to our friends and get it downloaded. This is what I did. I hope this answers your question.
Yes, ma'am, definitely. Ma'am, last one question is, when we are talking about AI, one of the main question arise to everyone's mind is that whether it is going to take away the jobs of common people like us.
This is actually a question which most of the people ask. Uh, if you There are two scenarios in this, guys. First one is definitely some of the jobs are going to go. This is a reality, whether people say AI is not going to take the jobs or whatever is the thing, but some of the jobs are going to go because of the AI. And this is what we are experiencing today also. So when nowadays we actually don't go to the outlets to buy certain things, we are shopping online. So see, if the outlets are not there, people are actually putting everything on the websites only, and AI is taking in the background working. And then the people who are going to the desk job, or this people who are going at the outlet job, they are not going to get the jobs. This is the basic concept. The second most important thing which I want to tell you is, AI actually at the higher or upper end, AI is not going to take the job, but we people are going to take the job from the people. This is the basic concept. Please understand. I'm going to explain it to you one more time. AI on the higher end, lower end, definitely some of the jobs are going to go, but the higher end, where your algorithms and your working of AI comes, at the higher end, AI is not going to take the jobs. We as a people who will be at par with the AI functioning, we will take jobs of the other people who are not at par with the AI. We are going to take the job, because please understand, if I'm a person who can do 8 hours a day job, and with the help of AI, in that 8 hours I can do, let's say, 20 hours or 30 hours of job. So whatever amount of hours I am going to complete in my 8 hours, those amount of hours somebody else was expected to do. For example, 8 hours I'm going to do 8 hours, somebody else is going to do 8 hours, somebody else is going to do. But I am at par with AI. I'm working with AI. So what I'll be doing is, I am working with AI. I am going to take the job of other person. AI is not going to take the job of the other person at a higher level. I hope this answers your question.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. The session was really informative. Thank you for sharing your time and expertise on AI. Now, I request the participants to fill the feedback form. The feedback link has been shared to the chat box on YouTube. e-certificate will be sent to your email, registered email, after filling the feedback form directly. Thank you once again for joining us today. Afternoon
Thank you so
session.
much, ma'am, for this time and sharing my experience. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you once again for joining us. Afternoon session details will be shared to your WhatsApp Telegram group soon. Please attend afternoon session. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Mowgli sir.
Hello?
Sir, shall we stop the streaming?
Yes, ma'am, we can start streaming, but who will be the host for the entire day?
Okay, sir. I have to keep on so that it will be there, sir.
Now, if
Like
you
what?
want myself to be the host for until 2:30, I'll be the host because I'm in college only.
Okay, sir.
So better you assign me as a host, then I'll keep the laptop here itself and go for lunch and come back. By 2 o'clock again we'll join. By the time I'll assign back you as a host. Is it okay for you?
Yes, sir. You are going now, sir, for
Yes, ma'am. இப்போ போயிட்டு சாப்பிட்டு வந்துடுவோம் மேம்.
okay.
12:30 12:40 ஆச்சா 2 o'clock வந்துடுவேன்.